Welcome to Let's Talk Petty. We are not petty, but we sure love talking about it.
Yes, we do. You're Kate.
I almost said I'm Andrew.
I threw you on that one.
I'm Andrew.
You wish.
Every day.
I'm Andrew. You're Kate.
That is true.
Got
You're
you back.
So proud of yourself.
Was that petty to do that?
I guess it was.
A little bit.
Petty revenge on me.
We'll talk about that one next week.
We'll have a whole story. I'm going to write out this really long story and put it on
Not
petty
on pro
revenge. Not pro revenge. That wasn't pro revenge, but it was petty revenge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my story is a little short, but it's got a lot of stuff that we can talk about back and forth. This one is for every server out there who knows how this feels, which also can go into retail service as well.
I have never waited tables.
You have not, but you've worked retail.
I have. But
Not for very long.
I feel like waiting tables is a little bit more of a challenge.
It is. It's a very intense job that everybody thinks they could do, but
And honestly, not just because
can't.
you used to do it. I respect people that do that because they have to deal with such idiots.
Oh, yeah.
And just ridiculous people.
And the
for
stuff
hours at a
that
time.
people will do,
Mm-hmm.
thinking that it's perfectly fine, like servers aren't human.
So if you're a server, I respect you. As does Kate, since she served for
Oh, God, long time.
many years.
Many years, not just serving too, and then went into management.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Yeah, it's a whole thing with restaurants.
Which is probably why you were drawn to the story.
Yes, very much so. Because I can relate. Because I swear I've actually have had to tell the same story, except with minor details missing.
I'm sure
but
every server, probably whatever your story is, I'm sure every server can tell
server
some sort of
yes.
a variation on it.
Absolutely. Every server who hears this is going to be like, yep, I feel their pain. All right, so this is table is rude, gets bad service. Which, yep, you're rude, you're not going to get good service. At that point, tip is not worth it. So, whatever. So it says, I don't know if this really counts as revenge, but I used to work as a server at a local pizza place. Every week they have a trivia night, which means that most of your tables come in at the same time.
So this isn't just your Pizza Hut. This is probably a little local pizza chain.
Yep, and it's it sounds like it's pretty busy. Everyone comes at the same time for this trivia night. And so when you get all your tables at the same time, you call it like, oh crap, I got double sat, or man, I got triple sat.
That's probably when you start 86ing things, isn't it?
Well, no, you can't 86 stuff.
I'm just showing off my lingo.
Are you gonna? Well, you used it wrong. It was a nice attempt.
You 86 stuff when you're out of it, right?
Yeah,
Well, if
but
there's
you're
so
not,
many people there, you got to 86 something.
I mean, I'm 86ing myself. There's been times where I have been. I think the worst I've ever had is I want to say I got. You can't say what 5 sat would be. Cinco sat.
Yeah, it's not quad. It's whatever.
I got cinco sat.
You got quad sat plus 1.
I got 5 tables all at once. It's insane. It's a whole thing. And it's awful. So, I mean, I can feel her pain. Even if it's just like two people, like a 2-top. It's terrible. So it says maybe 15, 20 minutes later, another 7-top table comes in and are already mad because something happened with their reservation. But they got a table without having to wait, so get over it, right? Of course not.
So this person got double sat and then another table came in?
It sounds like, so all the tables come in all at once. It says that she has 2 tables of 7 people and they both kept adding more people. Mm. Then she had 3 tables of 4 and a table of 2.
And then
so do the math. Yeah,
in.
so do the math there. So she's got 14 people. Then 3 times 4.
12.
So 12 plus 14.
26.
Showing off your skills here. So, and then a table of 2. So 28 people.
Look at you showing off your math skills. 26 plus 2.
So she's got 28 people, but those 2 7-tops are adding more people.
So there's at least 28 people, and then the 7-top walks in?
Yeah. And then she got this 7-top table. So you're one person,
So you're looking
and you're
between
basically juggling
almost 40 people.
Yes, 40 people. So look around when you're out and about. It's not the server's fault that there's not enough people on. If you want to get mad, be mad at, I don't know, whoever called out that night, or call corporate and tell them to not have such crazy labor expectations. I don't know.
Be mad you went to dinner at the same time
everybody else is, because that's how everybody always comes at once. That's another complaint.
I can't believe it's so busy.
Well,
it's dinner time. I can't believe
dinner
it's
time.
Busy.
You can have as many people on as you want, but the rush is going to slow everything down just because we still have to cook the food. It's not already prepared. So anyway, so just to be rude to your waitress when you can clearly see, or who you can clearly see has a lot going on, because all of her tables are right around you. So just like I said, like, be aware of your surroundings. Anyways, I get them all of their drinks and put in their orders fairly quickly, I might add. Apparently, 2 of them had guzzled their drinks because it hadn't even been 5 minutes. I was just about to check on them when one of them is holding 2 empty cups above his head and tapping them together. Not cool.
There's nothing more.
That's
nothing
what she says. Not cool. Not cool is right.
That's probably the nicest thing she could have said right
Yes, because I've actually had large tables where they're not ready. So what you do is you get everyone's drink orders, get the drinks to the table. I've been on one end of the table, gotten their order, and as I'm working my way down, the one end that I already took the order, their like food order, they are shaking their drinks at me while I'm trying to get their friends' order for food in. And I've had to stop the person ordering to say, I will get you your refills when I'm done taking your friend's order here.
Knowing you, I thought you were about to say, as you're putting your finger up, I will kill you if you keep doing that. There's got to be one time where you've said that.
I will slit your throat. No, I've never had to say it the way I word it, though, when I'm like, can I please get your friend's food order? They would like to eat as well. Always gets the one side of the table who hasn't ordered yet and is trying to put their order in riled up, and they all start yelling at the other people. So they take care of it for me, and I don't have to say anything. That's how I always dealt with it.
And we're in server talk. Welcome, everyone.
Server talk. Anyway, so where was I? Okay, so I look him directly in the eye, this guy who was holding his 2 empty cups above his head, and walk away to tend to my other more patient customers. Yes,
So
I
she
would have
didn't
done
even
the same
acknowledge him.
thing. She just looked him in the eye and walked to her other tables. I would have done the same thing. Our soda machines are right next to the door, and when I get back from my other table, I see him walking up to the soda machine to get his own refills. Of course, I play dumb and innocent and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Let me get that for you." Anyways, I'm a pretty passive person, so this isn't a great story, but just thought I'd share anyways. I can totally relate. I would have done the same exact thing, but to show how much people who have never served don't understand what she's talking about, where I am completely relating, and anyone else who has served will. A person on here posted a comment that said, basically screwed yourself over since you probably got less of a tip. And then she replied, I had been serving for a good while at that point. You start to be able to tell when people aren't going to tip anyways. They weren't going to. I made up for it by helping one table with a question on the quiz. They won the whole game because of it and gave me a really good tip. Rude customers don't tip is what somebody else posted. So that just shows you right there, like people that don't serve, that's what they would think. Oh, you're screwing yourself at a tip. No, we know. You really do get very well at knowing who is going to tip and who isn't. And the ones that you know are going to tip good get the best service. So
there you go. If you raise your glass in the air and clank your ice, you're automatically known as a non-tipper and you will not get service.
Yeah, you will not get service.
So at that point, let me ask you, from your years of experience, if that had happened to you in that situation, is there something even pettier that you could have done, or actually petty that you could have done to that person? What would you have done?
This is what I would do, because I did it. So if somebody had the audacity to do that, seeing that I am in the process of doing something else and that I will get your refills when I can. I would wait, make them wait, and then and we had pretty big glasses where I worked. I would bring them at least 5 or 6 glasses of what they needed, and I would put them down in front of them and say, here you go. I don't ever want you to have to wait for a refill again. So there you are. And I am so sorry that you had to wait for me to finish putting your friend's food in. And honestly, that would always also get everybody at the table making fun of this person. Because at almost every large group, you have one person that is a troublemaker. And so I would zero in on them, and I would get everyone to be against them. If I did that, which I did quite often to the people that were jerks, I mean, the reaction from other people at the table was almost instantaneously like, oh, look at what you got. Ah, ha, ha. And then they all made fun of them.
Did anybody ever call your bluff and drink all 5 or 6?
Oh, they always drank them all, because anybody who drinks them that quickly, they make it almost impossible for you to keep up with. It's like they're doing it on purpose. It's like a game to them. So there you have it.
Have you ever had a situation where someone got up and got their own drink?
No, because we didn't have a fountain where they could get to it. It was in the back. I have had someone come to the walkway where like you want to go back on like the QA line, and at the end shaking their glass because they needed a refill. It wasn't my table.
Who does that?
People do it all the time.
People, if you do that, stop.
People lose their minds when they go out to eat. It's insane. They don't see you as a human being when you're the server or the hostess or the bartender. It's crazy. Like the amount of stories out there for servers is just the stuff that like there was this whole thing. Somebody started this where they would put the tip at the end of the table. And then they would say, if you make a mistake, I'm taking $1 away. And I'd heard this happening for probably a few years until it finally happened to me. So I was very well prepared. And so this guy thought he was so smart. It was with 6 people. They were sitting in a large booth, and he had it at the end. And he said that whole line, every time you make a mistake, I'm going to take $1 away. And so I swooped it up, handed it back to him, and said, I work for free tonight. No tipping for you. Now we don't have to worry about it. What can I get you guys to drink? Which again, the table loved it. They all started mocking him. And every time you can get a table mocking the person who is being a douche, oh man, you make so much money. So much money off of that.
They respect you for that. I was thinking that if that was me in that situation, you probably couldn't do this. But I was hoping you were going to say you swooped in, grabbed the money, and took it, and said, "I just don't want anyone to steal this money while it's sitting here on the table. And since you had it out for me anyways, I just figured I'll take it now."
If I did not know for a fact that they would demand to speak to a manager, I probably would have done that. But no, I did it the diplomatic, the bureaucratic way, and did it that way.
If you ever have a throwaway account for Reddit because you're going to post a story, you need to be bureaucratic server.
Well, for my server days, I don't freaking care. So yeah. I would tell anybody my whole horror story of serving. But I did it forever because, man, if you're good at it,
you can make money.
You make some money. But anyway, so that's my story.
So we've got our full episodes out on Tuesday. We've got our mini episodes out on Friday. We have our skydiving podcast out on Wednesday. And now we've got Server Talk out on, let's do Saturdays.
Okay.
Server Talk comes out every Saturday.
I could have some stories. Woo, I got lots of stories. After so many years.
You've got a lot of good ones. I think we just came up with another one.
People give it to me, though. They just were so silly.
Well, I appreciate that story.
I'm glad you liked it. It is not as good. I will never be able to live up to that story of the true pro petty story. But
yeah,
what are you going to do? We got to keep going.
We do. We got to keep carrying on. And there's a lot of other stories out there, and we'll get to them all.
And they need to be told.
We'll get to every single one of them. We will not quit until we've told every single petty story.
Stop. All right. Well, we will see you next week.
but not until after you go to our website,
I forgot.
letstalkpetty.com.
I'm so excited to end this.
I didn't know it was that terrible for you.
This is terrible.
Well, anyways, if you want to feel terrible too, go to our website, letstalkpetty.com. You can listen to all of our old episodes. You can buy merch. You could donate. You could buy a coffee for us. You can get all of our social media links, and you can just tell someone about our podcast and share it with them, and hopefully we can get them listening and being fans as well. So thank you. We love you.
Oh, we appreciate you. Thanks for listening. Please be sure and give our show a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. And be sure to follow and subscribe so you don't miss an episode.